Hello and welcome back. In the last unit, you learned what kinds of data exist and where data comes from. Now comes a question that every analyst eventually faces, and that most skip too quickly. Is this data good enough to act on? Not. Is this data perfect? It almost never is. But is it good enough for this specific decision, with these specific stakes, for this specific population? That is the question this unit is built around. Let us start with the story that introduces this idea. The concept is called fitness for purpose. Data is not good or bad in the abstract. It is either fit or unfit for a specific decision. The same data set can work perfectly for one question and be completely wrong for another. Think about it this way. A map of all roads in Vietnam is perfectly fit for planning a national highway route. But it is completely unfit for telling a delivery driver which local streets to avoid in a specific neighborhood. The map did not become worse. The question changed. This is what fitness for purpose means. Before you begin any analysis, you need to check, does this data have the right coverage, the right level of detail, the right currency to answer my specific question? If the answer is no, you have two choices: find better data or adjust the question to match what the data can actually tell you. Now, let us look at two dimensions that sit underneath fitness for purpose: reliability and validity. Reliability: does that data give consistent results? A reliable data set produces the same results when measured under the same conditions. If you rerun your analysis tomorrow with the same data and the same method, you get the same answer. Unreliability often comes from inconsistent collection. If different surveyors interpreted the same question differently, or different offices used different definitions, the data may give you different answers depending on which part of the dataset you looked at. Validity: does the data measure what it claims to measure? A valid dataset actually captures the concept it is supposed to represent. This is harder to check than reliability, and more dangerous when it fails. Here is a classic example. A school quality ranking uses exam pass rates as its measure for quality. The data is collected carefully year after year, completely consistently. It is highly reliable. But exam pass rates do not fully measure school quality. They do not capture teacher engagement, student well-being, or learning beyond the test. The measure is reliable. The claim it makes is not fully valid. A useful shorthand: reliability is about consistency. Validity is about truth. You need both. A reliable but invalid measure gives you consistent nonsense. A valid but unreliable measure gives you accurate answers you cannot reproduce. Let me show you how these two concepts work together in real situation. Imagine an organization tracks the number of people receiving clean water access across provinces of Vietnam. They use official government registration data, households that registered with water authority. The registration data is highly reliable. The system is used by every province and the methodology is identical. But is it valid? Only if all households that actually have clean water access also registered. And only if all households that registered actually have functioning access. In practice, some households registered, but their infrastructure later broke down. Others have access through informal community systems that were never registered. So, the data is reliable, but its validity as a measure of actual current access is limited. That limitation directly affects the decision you can make from it.